Well, one thing's for certain, that BAFTA show was a damn sight better than watching England play over the weekend. Am I right, guys? Well, it feels like all of my worlds have collided over the space of an entire weekend. We are not even, 16 hours removed from the BAFTAs? And my God, is it good to have award season back in all of its might and all of its splendour, in person, most importantly. It was weird watching it on BBC One last night after, 2 years of all Zoom affairs. The BAFTA did a fantastic job of bringing it back to how it should be. And it was a good show last night. Rebel Wilson, I thought, decent host. Bit political at times, but what do you expect from an award show? I mean, she's no Ricky Gervais and the Golden Globes, but she did an admirable job compared to the hosts we've had in previous years. And, well, there was some interesting wins. We'll take you through the full list, because I literally went old school and I took notes during the broadcast last night. But Dune was the name of the game. 5 wins, most of any film last night. I'm happy for Villeneuve. Not wins in big categories, mind, mostly technical wins. But a win's a win. I'm still on a high from celebrating cinema. So let's cut the music and let's take you through all of the winners from last night. So the outstanding British film this year was Belfast, and I really liked Belfast. Branagh did a sort of interesting job blending together sort of elements of truth, elements of bit of fiction here and there, and importantly, it takes guts to make a film about the Troubles. So of course he reflected in the speech, and he was quite pro cinema in the speech. He's like, streaming cinema, good to see rumours of our get greatly exaggerated. Hopefully we can live together in the future. So I like the fact that a lot of the winners sort of took pot shots at the fact that cinemas have been shut for 2 years and everyone's been streaming, but last night really did prove that cinema is alive and well. Belfast was outstanding British film. That was the main marquee award for me. Best film last night though, Power of the Dog. I have mixed feelings. I can understand why Campion would win Best Film. But she also won Best Director. Awards voters generally like to watch people suffer for their art. And Power of the Dog does that a fair bit. But it was a bit of an overly long film. I think the only logical reason, aside from the whole technical side of things, why Power of the Dog won last night is because they shot in New Zealand in the midst of COVID. We always got first major production back online in New Zealand following all of the lockdowns. And Campion had like this 30-year career, and it would for the independent fan, anyone would have been like, "Oh, Jane Campion's won a BAFTA. Good to see her get honoured." But it was such a tight race this year; it could have gone to anyone, and that's the thing with these award seasons. When it's close, you know it really is close. For the performances, bit of a shock win. Will Smith won for King Richard. This performance has been getting a lot of traction within the award circles. I remember when the film came out, some of the people I get to spend time with at the local cinema watch the film, and some, of course, get into tennis. I'm not into tennis, so the film didn't really speak to me that much. But Will Smith getting a bit of an awards attention. What can only be described as the twilight of his career. I genuinely lost it when that came in. And then Joanna Scanlon won for After Love. BBC Films had a good night last night, didn't they? To see someone from Wales, a local-ish talent, win a BAFTA was really nice, and that's the kind of thing we like to see. For the supporting roles, Troy Kotsur win for CODA, big win for him. First deaf actor to win. the Supporting Actor Award. It's the first major Apple win for a film of this kind. It's just a shame CODA hasn't really had it's had traction on Apple TV Plus, but it would have been nice to see it get a bit of a wider cinema release, sort of ensure that people had enough of a chance to watch a film where it was truly intended to be seen. And then Ariana Dubose won for Best Supporting Actress for West Side Story, following up with the Golden Globes win. She's now pretty much dead to win the Oscar, but that's what you get for working with Steven Spielberg. Film not in the English language. Drive My Car won that one. I know it was described as the new Parasite by a lot of the big award circle. It is now the clear, by far and away, the favourite to win the Oscar. It would have been lovely to see Petite Maman win last night, but that film's got a way more traction. I think it really is boiling down to the fact that who's got the better PR campaign these days. That's how these awards generally seem to go. We've mentioned Best Director for Jane Campion. Animated feature film. No real surprises here. It went to Encanto. Everyone seems to be talking about Bruno these days, even though we're not really meant to. But Disney were going to run away with that award, no questions asked. Technical-wise, it was a 1-2 for score and cinematography for Dune. Hans has finally won something. I don't blame him with that score, which he is actually playing on his... because Zimmer's going to be touring around Europe. Well, he is touring around Europe. It started over the weekend. But he's playing bits from the Dune soundtrack on that tour. The bits from the BAFTA award-winning Dune soundtrack. After years of him being sort of left out of the awards race, it is good to see the mad German finally get a couple of somethings. And then Greg Fraser winning for cinematography. No real surprises there. Was one of the first major awards to be presented on the telecast last night. I did love how Dune was shot. Very open, very bold in the way it's executed, and it takes full advantage of that 1:3 1 aspect ratio that IMAX affords you. When Dune was like, as again, 5 wins for score, cinematography, production design, and editing and VFX. It was a good night for Villeneuve. For the costumes and the hair and makeup, Cruella won for costumes, and I predicted that on the day that the nominations went out. Jenny Bevan seems to be a designer who can turn in a good film even in the midst of a global pandemic. And it sucks that she wasn't there last night, but Jenny Bevan and BAFTA had a bit of a rocky history in the past. You just got to look back to a couple of years ago when Stephen Fry hosted it back in the day, the infamous Bag Lady saga. Luckily, we didn't have any such things last night. And then Eyes of Tammy Faye won for makeup and hair. From what we said on the telecast last night, it's the kind of film that BAFTA voters would have loved. A lot of focus on the practical, a lot of focus on the extravagant design, and a lot of focus on sort of like the escapism, which is, again, was a key theme that they sort of bigged up last night during the whole show. For the editing side of things, No Time to Die won that. Again, a film that long, 2:40, something like that. It wasn't a real surprise, but the quality of the field this year was just big. And then the EE British Academy Rising Star Award. Lashana Lynch took that one away. This was the only award voted for by the public, and it felt like all the Bond and the Captain Marvel stands turned out in their thousands to vote. A worthy winner, and joins a fantastic list of people to have won that award in the past, like James McAvoy, Eva Green. And it was also fantastic to finally see last year's winner present the award, because Becky, she didn't get her moment last year. So to present that with Lady Gaga was like a very nice and very inspired choice. So the minor awards, actually before that, screenplays, Licorice Pizza actually won something last night, and I'm relieved that that's the case. I would have personally loved to have seen Alana Haim win lead actress, because that was the heart and soul of that film. But Paul Thomas Anderson did actually take away original screenplay, and he beat Aaron Sorkin as well. I was half expecting Sorkin to win for being a Ricardo's, because it's Aaron Sorkin. But Licorice Pizza won original screenplay, and then CODA won adapted screenplay. CODA seems to be a dark horse going into sort of like the business end of the award season. we will get it reviewed at some point, do not worry. But it seems to be that Apple have got a bit more traction in this year's awards because they've got a lot more original IP coming in. They've got a lot more original TV as well, and they seem to sort of have the marketing machine in the right place as well. So the other awards that were sort of more minor but still very important, outstanding British debut was James Daniel for the Harder Day Fall. He co-wrote that with Boaz Yakin. It was a debut for a writer-director. This is an award to watch in the future because, of course, while Harder Day Fall didn't really get as big of a cinema release, having it spotlit on BBC One last night was a big thing. The documentary award went to Summer of Soul from Questlove. It's a clear favourite. We all had an inkling it would win. And again, now the clear favourite going in to the Oscars on March the 27th. For the British animated short, that went to Do Not Feed the Pigeons. Best casting went to West Side Story. And for outstanding British short film, that went to The Black Cop. That is your BAFTA winners for this year. And like I say, it was a fantastic show last night to see the cream of Hollywood back in the same room for the first time in 2 years. It was a fantastic moment. And sure, while I've got my issues with the BAFTA about the way they do things, about how they delay the broadcast just so they can get it down to 2 hours. And that's a problem we're going to have with the Oscars in a couple of weeks, bearing in mind. The Oscars are going to do something very similar, as in presenting awards before they go on air, and then playing them out at the end after Best Picture. It's shaping up to be a good end to award season. It's looking like it's going to be a good business end, in fact. A run-in, dare I say. And as ever, we will be here to bring it closer to you guys over the next couple of weeks. It is a fantastic time of year for cinema. The Batman opened 2 weeks ago. It's done £16 million and counting for the UK cinema industry. Everywhere is very much alive and well. And on top of that, it is a good time for the industry, full stop. There are many refurbishments going on. There are many big projects going on. There are many great films still to come. As we reach big Oscar night, though, we will continue to do what we do best. We will bring cinema closer. So join us back here in a couple of weeks for our Oscar predictions. And then the morning after the night before, on the 28th of March, we will have a 1-2 of Oscar reactions. And it gives me a big amount of joy to say this. The return of the journal. We are deep in the edit on the next couple of episodes. They will not be monthly going forward. But we've got a couple of fantastic episodes in the works about stuff like the BBFC, about what it's like on a review day. A couple of other deep dives that I really want to do to take us out up to July, up to the end of the year. And then from there, we'll figure out where the direction of the series is going to go. But if you're watching this far, let us know what you thought of the BAFTAs last night in the comments. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button, click the bell to stay notified on when we upload next, and probably somewhere up here you'll find links to our other award season coverage. It feels like I've not done YouTube for a couple of months, but it feels like we're getting all cylinders back firing on full power now. Feels good to have the restrictions lifted. So until the Oscars in a couple of weeks, my name's TheJackSmit. That was BAFTAs, and that was what the hell happened. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for the big one.